Good morning. It's another training day. It's Wednesday, December 16th, 2020. Just finished up my 65 minutes of LSD, long, steady distance. Not long, slow distance. Meaning you're walking along or running along with purpose. I was, long ago, when I got out of high school, I went to UC San Diego, University of California, San Diego, physiology major. Later in life, I went back to school and got an economics degree. And I used my economics degree so much more as an athlete and coach, because economics is the study of scarcity. And we all have a scarcity of time, energy, money, other resources. And so something you can do for your training is incorporate errands into the training. So today I had to go to the bank. So first 20 minutes of my workout was heading to the bank, and that was my warm up. And then I did the workout. You can walk your dog, walk your spouse, which I'm heading to right now. She's been getting out later. So there's no reason to get up super early in the cold like I did, and all those miles and minutes add up. Harvey Lewis, who broke the FKT for Badwater to Mount Whitney, he's a school teacher and he runs to and from work. Many people do that, and it's a great way to get extra miles in, kind of like the Kenyans and East Africans did when they were kids, just putting time on your feet. And so look throughout your day and just see, if you can't run to ride to work, park further away, take the staircase instead of the elevator. Just those little things all add up. Another chilly morning here in Bakersfield, California, and I'm getting about a 10K in this morning. Got home, did a real quick kettlebell drills up with the 25 pounds. I know it's not much, but for me, when I started, it was 10. I was watching a lot of Spartan stuff, and there's one guy, Hunter, real charismatic character with the big blonde locks. And he was talking about how he was doing CrossFit and how he jumped into that and he just didn't train properly and that he didn't do it in the conditions. He was working hard, but then he goes to one of the events and he failed to realize he should have just been watching that so many of their events are on AstroTurf, and he never trained on AstroTurf. I bring that up because you should do some specific training whenever possible. I want to do a Spartan type event sometime, and a lot of it seems to be watching all the videos, and it's cold and whatnot. And so I leave my kettlebells outside, and picking up that kettlebell and holding on to it for 15 minutes, my hands are quite cold right now. Well, got to jump in the shower real quick and head off to do some door dashing. Another training day in the books. It's Wednesday, December 16th, 6:30 at night here in Bakersfield, California. Just finished up a virtual run on the old Swift. Did a 50-minute chug. Kind of today is LSD day, long, steady distance, not long, slow distance. An LSD run is a little bit faster than an easier recovery run, and it's just a way to build up your endurance, mitochondrial density, efficiency, metabolic efficiency, and all that good stuff for your aerobic system. And so I did a LSD walk this morning, and I'm getting about 10K in this morning. And then this evening, I did just 50 minutes on the treadmill, doing a 5-minute walk, 5-minute run. Wasn't very quick, but I got it done. In between there, after I did my walk this morning, I did my kettlebell with the 25 pounds. I'll tell you, you can really tell the difference between 25 pounds and 15, 20. Especially doing those 15 drills I have. And then before I did the treadmill this evening, I did the Fitbit workout with a bunch of burpees and jumps and stuff like that. Really still training to possibly do one of these OCR races. I see there's a True Grit one or something like that. Grit up in Santa Clarita, only a couple hours away in February. And I might sign up for that. It's 8 miles. So who knows if it's going to be actually held. COVID is still raging along here in the States. Sadly, yesterday, one of my hiking buddies, guy I've hiked with for many years, Glenn, passed away from COVID. He got ill back in the middle of November, was in the hospital, in ICU, Thanksgiving, and then we heard yesterday he passed away. So really unfortunate to hear that. First person that I've, I always kind of say, somebody I could shoot a text or an email and be like, hey, what's going on? They wouldn't be like, wow, I haven't heard from this guy in ages. So unfortunate to hear that news. So today was definitely, he was in my thoughts when I was working out, and a lot of my friends too, obviously, had lots of interactions with him. He's the kind of guy that A lot of people, one of my friends said, oh yeah, he was the first person I met here in town, and especially, and I said, well, if you're an outdoors person, he was at all the meetup hikes, and you definitely, if you showed up at one of those hikes, he was the first guy to come up and talk to you, greet you, and just a really good guy, a geologist, and which was always great because he could just tell you about all the things we saw out there, the rocks and stuff like that, and lots of good stories, and he will be missed. So please, mask up, social distance as much as possible. Ironically, the vaccine just came out Monday, and people are getting it. I won't be getting it for a while. I mean, I am 58, so I'm kind of down there in age, and my congestive heart failure diagnosis, perhaps I could get it a little sooner, but my family's pretty isolated. We, before COVID, we're social distancing. So, except for a few times when I work out with some people outdoors, and of course, when I DoorDash is great. I just walk in, grab the bag off the counter, and then drop it off at people's doors, and have very little interaction. So, I'm trying to stay safe myself. So, that was kind of the day today. Been watching, like I said, a lot of Spartan races. Episode 3 of the Spartan Games is out, which where they're taking CrossFit athletes, ultra runners, a football player, all kinds of people are competing in their thing, and this is the 3rd episode of 4, and they're doing all kinds of stuff. In this episode, they were wrestling, and then they were running an ultra. The ultra was 6 hours, 5-mile laps, as many laps as you could do. You had to do at least 3 laps, so a lot of them were going way beyond their comfort level. Interesting, Michael Wardian was there. Of course, he got killed in the wrestling, and he actually didn't win the ultra thing, so I'm not sure what was going on with him there. I do know he has been hurt since then with some kind of issues. He wasn't able to do Barkley this fall, so interesting show, interesting background, really shows you how I used to always tell people when I was coaching full-time, especially endurance athletes, not endurance athletes, mainly runners, people running marathons, half marathons, ultras, and they'd want to cross-train, I'd be like, I'm trying to make you the best runner you can be, and that's not necessarily the healthy for you or the best athlete you could be. It's the best runner. And the best runner, you look at the East Africans, or you look at Ryan Hall in his days, or Galen Rupp, or Jordan Hasse, you got to be lean and mean and not be able to do a whole lot else but run. And it definitely shows up in this Spartan Games where you've got Michael Wardian running, and he's can't do much of this stuff. And then there's a young lady from the Hoka team who I can't recall her name right now, but she was placed in the top 10, Kellen, something like that. And she's a road marathoner, and she's not doing well in the games, and hated even the trail run because she's just used to getting on a road and running fast and not having to watch out for the footing. So definitely specificity of training, as I talked about before. I use my econ degree a lot more than I use my physiology degree. Diminishing returns and all that kind of stuff. I am truly interested in how some of these Spartan athletes are really good distance athletes when you get right down to it. They run some pretty quick times considering they also got to climb and jump and shoot, throw spears and all that kind of thing. So just kind of looking into that. I'm now in almost 30 days of doing my 16-hour fasting. I know it doesn't look it. I'm still a big guy, but I'm getting down in weight. Been dropping a little bit of weight, and but I've noticed kind of plateaued. But I think probably I've been getting thinner because I've noticed my clothes are fitting better. And, if I'm throwing around these kettlebells and doing burpees, I'm probably putting on muscle because I know I kind of ruined my running career in high school. I've always been a guy who could put on muscle quickly. And I had a great cross-country season my senior year. Made it to the Valley, ran around 15 flat for 3 miles. Sub 16 for 5Ks, and then I was running 70, 80 miles a week, and I started doing cross-training with the baseball team because I enjoyed cross-training, and we would do sit-ups and push-ups in the mornings, and then some gym work on the other days, and we started off, doing 30 push-ups, 30 sit-ups, and then they go 30, 25, 20, and we got up to 70, where we'd start at 70 or 80, so we were doing 400 or 500 sit-ups, push-ups a night in the morning, and then doing, weight work. And unfortunately, I was one of the biggest guys around anyways, 5'10", 140-ish to 5'10", 150-ish by the time track season came around. It's great shape, but a little bit too big. So, I think that's happening now. I've always been able to bulk up pretty quickly. So, must be those Swedish genes I got from my grandmother, Ingeborg. So, tomorrow morning, if you're playing along at home, it is a Fartlek run. I will be going over to Beach Park and going up and down the grass hills and the lumpy grass and all that, doing that tomorrow morning, and then probably just do something on the treadmill later in the evening. So, as always, I forgot I was watching yesterday this show called AVA. It's one of these, assassins who, is now having second thoughts, and then the group are trying to kill her. Sorry for spoiler alerts. And, the fighting, I just don't get the fighting. The scenes are just way too long and everything. But the one thing I have, and the reason I'm bringing this up, is I just wish they would have a running coach in these things. I mean, the fights look pretty good. I mean, granted, they don't go that long. But, man, like, she cannot run. They do this run with their arms like this, like the Terminator kind of thing. Tom Cruise is a terrible runner, too, on film. And it just drives me nuts watching him. So, just one of my little rants there. So, I'll end this with, as always, stay healthy, be boring, not epic.